I grew up in pretty much the middle of nowhere. I grew up having an appreciation for nature that I didn't really even know that I had. I grew up having an appreciation for stillness and silence and for a simple life, even though I always wanted more. A little over 3 years ago, I got in my car and drove to California and moved here. And I live in Los Angeles, which is a city and a pretty crazy city at that. And learning to live here has been an adjustment because it is so different than not only how I grew up, but it's so different than how most of the world lives and how humans are really naturally supposed to live. It is extremely expensive to live here, so you constantly feel that monetary pressure of making your bills and making your rent, and it's loud. If you can hear the noise from the cars, you'll understand that most apartments are loud and most of our living situations are on the louder side. There's always airplanes flying above, and there's this kind of loudness in the energy as well where you never feel that calm unless you're actively trying to. But if you have no walls set up and you're just letting the energy flow to you, you feel scattered and there's a lot going on. There's a ton of people here. So there's a lot of personalities and a lot of energy exchanges of people treating other people like scenery. There is nature here. I feel very fortunate to live in a city that's surrounded by mountains. And so there's a lot of hiking and there's the ocean and there is a lot of beautiful nature. But it also is a little bit crowded and sometimes it's dirty because there's a city noise, but the nature is sometimes crowded and it sometimes doesn't feel like enough of a break from the city. So a question that I have asked myself a lot and a question that other people who know me have asked me as well is, why do I choose to live in a city? Why live in a place that feels a little chaotic sometimes when you can just go live in the forest and be calm and happy there? And through, every single time that I ask myself this question, I come to the same conclusion of, I love living here and this is where I'm meant to be at this stage of my life. And I wanted to share with you why I live in a city, so that either if you are interested in living in a city, or if you live in a city and you need a little bit of motivation or inspiration to get through, I want to share with you what motivates me to live here and why I go through the extra trouble of having to constantly recenter myself living in this city. There is so much freedom and opportunity in living in a city. I've never lived in a different city than Los Angeles, so I'm speaking mostly about Los Angeles when I say this, but living in Los Angeles, there are so many opportunities, there are so many jobs that you can do. Basically anything that you want to do, there is a community doing it, there are people doing it, there is an opportunity to do that. No matter how obscure what you want, if you're going to find it anywhere, you're probably going to find it in Los Angeles. Living in a city opens up that realm of whatever you want to learn, whatever you want to do. It is readily available to you, and you can find other people who are doing it too. And there's another noise of the city. I'll just wait till that's done. This is the part of the videos that you don't always see. It's me waiting for whatever noise is going on outside to stop so that I can continue talking. Seems like that might be done. Okay. In addition to that, there is a lot more freedom here than most places to be able to be what you want to be and wear what you want to wear. The thing about Los Angeles is that we are so unfazed by weird things here because there's so much activity. This is the center of entertainment. And with that comes a lot of different people and different types of people. And so we're super unfazed here by strange things happening. We kind of just are like, okay, whatever. So whatever you want to wear, whatever you want to be, you have that freedom to do that here. I remember when I moved here, I was personally excited about that. Just in the sense where I grew up, I felt like I was judged if I was wearing a crop top. And I was, this is so silly, but when I moved to Los Angeles, I was excited because I was like, I can wear a crop top or I can work out in a sports bra and people won't be weird about it. That definitely has been a benefit living here, although I don't do really out of the ordinary things and I don't really wear unusual clothes, there is that freedom there to kind of be able to wear whatever you want to wear and to do anything that you want to do. Living in a city, there are so many people to meet. There are so many different people to interact with, and no matter who you are, there's a good chance that you will be able to find your group of people that you connect with in a city. Hey Siri, how many people live in Los Angeles? Los Angeles in particular, the actual city of Los Angeles has a little bit over 3 million people, and then the county of Los Angeles has 10 million people, which is a lot of people, which sometimes feels like a downside, but other times I remind myself I have met so many incredible people in Los Angeles, and living in a city, you're not confined to one group of people. When you go out, you never see anybody that you know, and you can interact with new people all the time. You can meet new people all the time. There's kind of just like endless opportunities for networking and meeting people. And I absolutely love that about living in a city, because I'm always meeting new people who help me grow and evolve, and meeting new people is just such a wonderful experience. Aside from all of the very obvious physical reasons of why I love living in a city, and the fact that I really feel like I'm supposed to be here, and my purpose right now is being here based on the opportunities that are coming into my life and based on what I feel like my purpose is. One of the main reasons why I really love living in a city is because of the challenge of finding your balance. Living here, like I said, is loud and there's a lot going on. But learning how to find your center, your grounding, and learning to find the stillness within you in a place that feels kind of crazy is so beautiful, because I know that as I really accomplish that here, and as that becomes a very real reality to me living here, and as I become better at it, I know that anywhere that I go, it will be so much easier for me to find that balance within me, because I've already found it in this situation. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I moved here with the intention of living here for a year or so and then moving to Hawaii. And I still love Hawaii. I love to visit there. But in my own personal life, for my own personal journey, I have found that living in the human society and learning how to be a human in our society while simultaneously transcending what that means and finding new ways to bring light and love back into the day-to-day life and live a conscious life in general, that feels like it's the right thing for me. And there is a quote, which this isn't word for word, but someone told it to me about 3 years ago. And it really changed the way that I saw living in a city. And living in a city isn't for everybody. I'd like to preface that. Your own personal journey, your own personal life is up to you and what feels good to you. But for me, this quote resonates a lot with me and really supports my vision for why I live here. You can live on top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere and become enlightened in that environment. But then you come down to the city and someone cuts you off in traffic and all of a sudden you're swearing and you're angry. And the thing about living here is that you learn to find your balance and center in any circumstance, which is the true reality of finding that balance, is being able to be present even when it's not easy. And I don't remember the original person who said that quote, but somebody said it and it wasn't me. But it really did help me clarify that in my own life, because I feel already like I am so much more grounded within myself from living here, even when it's not easy, because I am actively every day trying to just be present and enjoy my life. And it's not easy, but it is so simple and it is so beautiful. And living here has really strengthened that within me. I may move someday. Probably will move someday. But for right now, at this time in my life, this is the perfect place for me to be. So I just wanted to share that with you, because I think sometimes we look at living a calm and a present life as something you can only do under certain circumstances, as something that you can only do if you're living in nature and you have no worries and there's no stress in your life. But I'd like to share that you can find that same feeling of stillness and peace, even when you live in Los Angeles and there's a lot of noise from the cars outside and you have to pay your rent every month and you have to go to work and you're living in the human society. There is calmness and stillness that lives within you and lives within me. And my deep purpose in life is to honor that and to find that always within myself. And living here has really strengthened that purpose for me. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you're doing well and taking care of yourself. And if you're living in a city during this time, it is particularly difficult, I know. But learn to find the beauty in it, learn to find the beauty within you, and really just bring the light back into it, because we collectively as a city are what make up the city. So when one person starts to just exude happiness, it spreads to other people, and we quickly can create a city that makes us feel good. And that is such a beautiful mission. And so, yeah, thank you again for listening. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day today.